Yo, what's up? It's your boy Chaos Rome, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be talking about, again, Legends Reborn, but I wanted to talk about the recent updates to the game. I'm going to talk about the battle pass, going to talk about earnings, and I'm going to talk about one of the major updates is they've actually reduced the free-to-play limited creature rotation. So what that means is if you're a free-to-play player and you don't have any NFTs, you're only going to be able to select a few creatures to be able to play the game. But don't worry, they actually have featured decks, which gives you really fun, cool, good enough decks for you to stay competitive in the game. So I'm going to be talking about the featured decks and how to play them, so that way you can win games, acquire battle pass points, acquire more cards, more dragon stones, and more creatures, so you can stay competitive and stay ahead of the game. No pun intended. Alright, cool. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the battle pass. So the battle pass is free, which is really cool. You don't have to pay for it for now. I don't know, we don't know if it's going to cost you anything in the future, but right now all we know is free. So when you're at the main screen and you go to the battle pass, basically pretty self-explanatory. You get to see all the rewards you'll be able to acquire by winning games. When you win games, you'll get BP point. I think the max I've got in the game is like 110, 120, I think. And obviously you accumulate these points, and when you get enough points, you'll be able to unlock creatures and cards. So the creatures that we have, as you can see, is the Air Elemental, which I've already unlocked that one. The Mimic Chest, which I've spoken about this creature in previous videos and how to. So I'm going to be showing you a great combo with the featured deck with this creature. The Troll, which is a very strong defensive creature, and it's a warrior, so it has some really cool warrior cards. So if you are able to acquire this creature as a reward, definitely add it to your deck. I forget the name of this creature, Broken Tooth or something like that. And then the Golem. And then also you have these cards here as well that you can acquire, these free cards, which is cool. Okay, so another thing about a battle pass is, as you can see, it says Spring Starter, and the battle pass, as you can see, it says I would say 256. No, it says 25 days and 7 hours, which mean these creatures that you acquire in the battle pass, because the battle pass is free, you don't actually get to keep them. So you only keep them for this period, and then after 26 days, it's gonna reset. So again, this is really good because it gives you the opportunity to try out these creatures. So if you did like them, eventually hopefully God will start selling them in a God store, or if you want to get them right now, you can go to OpenSea and buy them. So that's the battle pass. So now we're going to look at the event. So I mentioned earning. So earning is actually available, which I didn't see no announcement about this from Gala in their Discord. I think they tweeted about it, but maybe like 10 people saw it. And then obviously Nephilim shared it in the Discord, so more people saw it. But yeah, so with earnings, you can only earn in this game right now. We're still waiting on the light paper to see other ways of earning, but you can only earn in this game if you have NFTs or if you have venues. So if you go to event, you can actually see your position, how much you'll be able to earn. So at the top, it shows you your earning if you own a tavern or venue, and at the bottom it shows you the earning depending on which NFT creatures you own. Then you can go to the leaderboard. As you can see, I'm in second. My boy Womi is number one. He's forever number one. Like this guy is on the game 24/7. Nah, I'm joking, but yeah, no, he's a good player. He's always in number one because he accumulates a lot of points based on the NFTs that he has. And then you get the reward. So obviously, as you can see, the person in first place gets 1,125 total. I'm trying to get to number one, but again, as you can see, it's really competitive. But that's pretty much it for the earning. Obviously the token is not released, so we don't actually know the value of the token. we don't around here we don't really care about token price. All we care about is playing a fun game, and if we earn a little bit from the game, then he'll win. All right, so let's talk about the third major update to this game, which is the free creature rotation. So basically what that means is if you're a free-to-play player and you don't have any NFTs, the game will provide you with a small selections of creatures for you to use and create decks. Obviously, you're very limited in the decks that you can build, but if you have a lot of action cards that you've acquired from the shop, then you could probably create a decent deck. But if you have no action cards and you don't have any NFTs, then your best bet to, I would say, earn battle pass points in this game is to use one of the featured decks. So they have 3 featured decks. 2 of them I actually enjoy to use. I think they're pretty good, strong, and you can be quite competitive with these 2 decks. One of them I'm not too sure. I haven't really played it that much, but I don't really like the lineup that it has with those creatures, and to be honest, not many people use it, so that kind of says a lot about that deck. So the 2 we're going to look at is this one here, Burn and Return. I think, me personally, this is actually my favorite out of the 2. So I'm gonna showcase this one, and the second one is Null and Void. I think this deck, actually, to be honest, I think this deck is probably the strongest one, but it's more, you have to kind of like understand the game and the passive effect of all creatures. So I think this is the reason why a lot of people don't use this deck, because it's quite complex and you need to know what you're doing. One of the somebody that actually plays this deck really well, you might see his name on the leaderboard. His name is Cryus. So he uses this deck. He understands the game very well. So if you ever come up against him and you play him, you can actually see this deck in full force. So we're going to talk about these 2 decks. All right, so the first deck I'm going to show is the Burn and Return. So let's talk about the hero of this deck. I didn't really talk about the hero. If this is the first time you've seen this game and you have no idea what the fuck's going on, it's probably best to watch my previous videos. I've done a breakdown about how the game works. So I'm not going to really go into a hero meter. I'm not going to go into how to do a drag attack. I'm really just going to talk about the strategy of this deck, because I'm assuming you played the game before and you kind of like have a basic understanding of how the game works. If not, there's a video that I highly recommend done by 8-Bit Tendies. I'll post a link of that video in the comment section. If this is the first time you ever seen this game, watch that video first and then come back to my video. So first we're going to talk about the hero. Now the hero has 5 cards. 3 of them are really good, 2 of them, 1 of them is mediocre, and then the other one is very situational. So the hero card that you ideally want to pull is the Auto Revive, because that's why this deck is called Return, because you're returning your creatures from the graveyard. Team Burn, so that's where the burn comes from. So this is a very good card. And Fortune, it's good. It helps you to heal your creatures every turn and return allow you to draw extra cards. So cool. Oh, and Area Expel is a very strong card if you're playing somebody who has like a lot of buff on their team. But again, check out the hero cards that you get. Let's play around with them when you actually get them so you can understand how they work. But let's get into the strategy of this deck. So the first creature you want to deploy is the Tortoise, the Cragshell Tortoise. The reason why we want to deploy this creature is because the creature's passive works like this. When this creature is on the field or on the board, any creature that you deploy onto the board would automatically get Thorns. Now Thorns is a very good defensive card. If you attack a creature that has Thorns in it, you'll take some damage. But then obviously that damage is mitigated or lessened by that creature's defense. So a lot of people don't understand why sometimes when their opponent doesn't attack onto them and the opponent doesn't take, like, they take 0 damage from Thorns, is because that creature's defense is so high that the defense protects it so it doesn't take any damage from Thorns. So if a creature that has no defense attacks a creature that has thorns, then it will get 100% of that thorn damage back. So hopefully that makes sense. But that's the reason why if somebody attacks you and you're like, hey, why didn't they take no damage from my thorns? That's the reason why. But anyways, so we're gonna deploy the tortoise first. Now on our second turn, we want to deploy all of our creatures apart from the phoenix, and I'll tell you why afterwards. So we're gonna put actually the next creature you want to deploy before anyone else is the Razorvine in Forest Protector. Now this creature's passive, what it does is if a creature has thorns applied to it, that creature will get regen. Like I said, regen is a good card because it gives you 4 HP at the start of your turn. So you want that. So we're gonna put out the tree first, and then we're gonna put out the fire elemental, and then we're gonna put out the chest. So the chest is a healer class. So the chest has cards like revive, it has healing cards, so it's pretty cool. A nice little combo which I'll talk about later on with the chest is if you can apply revive to the chest and then the chest dies, when the chest dies, it grants you, as you can see, it grants you 5 energy. So we're trying to get this chest to die as soon as possible, and then to revive it so we can have that loop, that 5 energy loop, revive loop, which is pretty cool if you can get it to work. So the aim and the strategy of this deck is to try to apply as much burn to all of your opponent's creatures. You don't want to attack just one creature, you want to attack all of them. So the way we're going to apply burn for free without costing us an action card is every time one of our creatures does an attack to our opponent creature, fire elemental will apply 4 burn, and but it will give up 4 HP to do that. So you got to be careful. You want to do as many attacks as possible, but you don't want to kill your fire elemental too soon. So another thing you can do is use your healer card, use your healer creature to try and find healing cards to keep healing your fire elemental. But again, we want to spread as much fire as possible. When I play a lot of people, they tend not to do too much drag attacks because they want to keep the fire elemental alive for a long time. Yo, one thing about this game, I'm gonna give you guys a tip. One thing about this game is it's not about trying to keep your creatures alive forever or to try and keep your creatures alive until the end of the game. It's to keep your creature alive long enough for them to achieve a goal or their purpose. Once their purpose has been achieved, they can die. So a lot of people get so focused on protecting their creatures to keep them alive forever. It's like, no, like every single one of these creatures has a purpose. So when they've done that purpose, they can die. The crack shell only purpose is to apply thorns. If you can get thorns on your creature, if that motherfucker dies the next turn, I don't care, it served its purpose. So do as many drag attacks and try to apply as much fire as possible. Like I've seen people just do 1 attack and then end their turn, but they have the option of doing 3 or 4 attacks. So fuck that shit. Do as many attacks as possible. So the 2 creatures that have the lowest drag attacks are the tree and the shell. So we're gonna use that. So I'm gonna drag attack. And ideally you want to drag attack into the weaker creatures. So find your opponent that has the weakest attack and drag into that, because we want that creature to do an attack. So the only way you can remove fire is by doing an attack or using a action card that can expel that fire. So we want to drag into our opponent's weakest creatures. So I definitely the glade, and I would say the harpy. As you can see, my fire elemental is taking damage, but that's cool. Don't worry about that. We got something for that. We got the phoenix. So with the phoenix, yo, I see a lot of new players. When I play this game, a lot of new players really mess this up. They put out the phoenix way too soon. And as you can see, the phoenix passive ability is if your creature has 50% or less, if your creature has 50% or less, when you deploy the Phoenix, you automatically grant that creature a revive. So ideally, we want to get our fire elementals health low, or the chest health low, whoever goes low first, and then deploy the fire elemental. We don't care about the crack shell. I've seen people get the crack shell health low and then deploy the Phoenix. Like, fuck the shell, like it's already served its purpose. We don't want to revive him. We want to revive fire elemental, or we want to revive the chest. Okay, so as you can see, I have applied so much fire to my opponent, they don't even know what to do. And this is what you want to do. Like, you want to spread that fire to every single one of your opponent's creatures. Now that I've got my fire elemental health below 50%, I'm going to deploy the Phoenix. Now that I have revive on the fire elemental, as you can see, is indicated with the Phoenix symbol. Now my next goal is to get taunt. Now taunt is basically, how taunt works is only creatures with taunt may be targeted first for an attack, and then after they've done an attack, that becomes rally, which means that they will step back and then your opponent can attack any other creature that doesn't have taunt. So we want to find taunt, and we want to apply taunt to the mimic chest or the other creatures. So the only creature in this deck that has taunt is the Phoenix. So this Phoenix has 3 cards that can apply taunt, so we want to get one of them. And lucky, I'm actually quite lucky because I started the match with one in my hand, so I'm going to use that right now. So I'm going to apply area taunt. So again, you want to put it on the card, that's the creature that's in the middle, so it can work, taunt can work on the adjacent creatures. So I'm put taunt. So now my fire elemental is protected. I have taunt on the mimic chest, because that's what you want to do. So again, really simple strategy with this deck is to try to apply as much fire as possible to all your opponent's creature. When the fire elemental's health goes below 50%, deploy the Phoenix so that can get revived, and then you want to search for taunt. And to do that, you can just do drag attacks with the Phoenix. This is really good because every time you do a drag attack, it will apply fire, and you just keep that loop going. And then eventually you want to apply, once you get this second revive card, you want to apply this revive to the chest. But don't do it too early. Don't be a noob and then activate the card really quickly. Wait until the chest's health gets a bit low, then activate it. If you activate the revive card, your opponent's just going to find a way to remove it. So the best thing you can do is just wait until the health of your mimic chest gets low, so that way the revive card isn't sitting on the mimic chest for the whole game, just waiting to be removed. So before I move on to the next deck, I wanted to talk about a really simple setup you can do with this current deck. It's a fun little combo. It doesn't work all the time, because if your opponent has paralyze or removal cards like air elemental, or I shouldn't say paralyze, I should say nullify, like from the Nagar, it can really disrupt this combo. But to be honest, not many players have the Nagar, and only a few use the air elemental. So I'm going to show you this really quick fun combo setup that you can do right from the start. So I mentioned earlier on that you want to deploy the Cragshell Tortoise first, so that way you can apply thorns to your other creature. But if you deploy the mimic chest first, chest on the board all by itself, that's it. You want to deploy no other creature, because the technique or the strategy is you want the chest health to fall below 50%, so you can revive it with a Phoenix. But while you're doing that, you want to try and search for your revive card. So basically with the chest, you want to try and search for all of these cards. So while this card is on the board all by itself, you're just waiting. You're just searching for cards, and you're just waiting for the HP to fall below 50%. So let's do that. Cool. So I've managed to get my chest. I managed to keep my chest barely alive. It's only got 11 HP, and I was able to draw 2 really strong cards from the chest. So I got the Ultra Revive, and I got the Phoenix Blessing. So now I'm going to deploy the Phoenix, and if I can get a taunt card from the Phoenix, then that would be great. If not, then obviously I'm hoping my opponent would stupidly keep attacking the chest, or they can attack the Phoenix, but then that's even better because they've just wasted so much energy attacking the chest. Now they have to waste more energy to attack the Phoenix, so they got to decide who they want to attack. But all in all, I'm gonna try and look for a taunt card so I can place it on. I do have a taunt card, but I don't have enough energy. So what I do, I will save that taunt card for the next round. So when I revive, when the chest comes back to life, I can apply the auto revive, and then I can apply this taunt. So yeah, this is actually working out pretty good so far. No, they've just expelled my revive. That's cool, that's cool. So if I can't get the chest to come back, I can still get that additional 5 energy. It's kind of like what we want. So the purpose, remember I told you each creature has a purpose until they die, and the purpose for my chest is for it to give me 5 energy. If I can get that one time, great. If I can get it multiple times, cool. So obviously right now I'm playing the bot, and they didn't take the opportunity to kill the chest, which they should have. So I'm gonna apply this taunt. And I have enough energy to put on the revive. Perfect. And that's pretty much that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna continue because the setup, the remaining setup is very similar to what I said previously. You want to put out the shell, then the tree, and then the fire elemental. But this is a very strong combo when it works. Obviously, your opponent's gonna know what you're doing, so their job is to nullify the chest to prevent it from having its passive, or to use expel cards to remove the taunt or to remove the revive. Again, like I said, this is one of my, out of the featured decks, this is my favorite one. So the next deck we're gonna look at is the Null and Void deck. So this deck is like a debuff deck that you apply poison, plague. Ideally you're trying to apply plague, so plague is a very strong debuff, negative status effect, because it can spread, not like how the fire spreads, but it's plague stays on your creature, your opponent's creature, permanently, unless your opponent finds a way to remove it, and it just causes damage over time. And when the creature that has plague dies, it will then spread plague to adjacent creatures. So that's a very strong debuff. When it comes to the starting setup, there isn't really any starting setup. You can, if you wanted, you could deploy all your creatures at one time. I tend not to do that. I tend to always keep like one creature, usually my strongest creature in my hand. So in this deck, that would be we call it the blue dragon, the Azura dragon, aka blue dragon. So usually I will hold on to this creature for maybe about 2 or 3 turns. There's no point putting it out so it can just get destroyed quickly. So the creatures that we want to deploy is the purple dragon. So after we deploy the purple dragon, the next 2 creatures I'm going to deploy is the undead and the foot soldier. So these 2 actually work really well together. So the foot soldier applies fatigue. So fatigue just increases your opponent's drag attack energy cost by 1. But the good thing about applying fatigue in this deck is the undead applies plague after attacking a creature that has fatigue. Now, very similar to the previous deck, you want to attack the weaker creature, because if somebody has fatigue on them, if I'm playing against this deck and I get fatigue on my creature, I need to remove it as soon as possible. So obviously we want to attack the weaker creature because we want them to then attack us in turn so they can remove fatigue. There's no point attacking the stronger creature because that's what your opponent wants to do. They want to attack with their stronger creature anyway. So we're going to find the weakest creature in this team and attack them. So again, so what we want to do is we want to apply fatigue on the weaker creature, which I've done that to the glade. And then now I want to attack the glade with the undead. So I've got a pretty cool card that says if I attack a healer creature, I can attack twice. So I'm gonna use this card and attack the healer creature. Hopefully I can attack her. No. Yeah, well, I had blind on me, so that's why I attacked a different creature. So that's pretty much it. Really, that's pretty much the strategy is to attack with the foot soldier first, to apply fatigue. They keep changing the name. It used to be called crippling or cripple, but they changed to fatigue. So yeah, to apply fatigue and then use the undead to then do a follow-up attack to apply plague. Now another way for you to apply plague is to use the spider lady. So how she applies plague, if a creature has nullify on them and she doesn't attack, you would apply plague and she will get 2 vampiric, so she'll be able to leech 2 health away from your opponent for that. So there's many ways to, this is what I was trying to say at the beginning about this deck. This deck is quite a little bit complex because there's many ways for you to apply nullify to your opponent. One of the best ways is to have not radiant armor, is to have void armor. So void armor is an armor that if you have it on and your opponent attacks you, they will automatically get nullify applied to them. So this little purple devil grants you a void armor for free, but you have to have exit 50, so your creature's health has to be 50% or below. So it's a really good idea to make sure you get this creature out early at the beginning, so that way when you're taking damage you can apply void armor, and if a creature attacks us they will get nullified. So hopefully they can start attacking my creature, so the next turn I'm gonna pull out the spider chick. So this is great. So 2 of the creatures, as you can see, have nullified. The glade has nullified and the golem has nullified because they attacked into my creatures that had void armor. Also the glade has fatigue. She still has fatigue on, so I can still continue to attack her with the undead. But I just wanted to show you guys how the spider lady works when she attacks somebody that has nullified. So I've actually got a card here in my hand that is a magic attack plus nullify. So this is like a 2-for-1 offer, really, a 2-for-1 offer. So if I use the spider lady with this card, I can apply plague straight away because it applies nullify and it grants me an attack. So that's cool. Then I'm going to do another physical attack on the glade to apply more plague and just end my turn. So now I'm just gonna pull out the blue dragon on the field. I can get his passive to start going. A good reason for why you want to deploy your creatures at different stages of the game is, especially if they're strong, it makes your opponent think, oh my god, I need to get rid of this creature, but that creature's at full health. So your opponent has spent the past couple of turns causing damage to your other creatures, and they're at like half health or 3/4 of a health remaining. So when you put out a new creature that has full health, they're gonna be like, oh shit, you know, I've just wasted all this energy removing health HP from those creatures. Do I now, you know, start to attack this creature, or do I continue attacking the other creatures that have void armor or radiant armor or whatever armor? So now that I have the blue dragon on, the blue dragon would start to accumulate intelligence spike. But whilst that's going on, I'm gonna keep applying plague with the with the undead. I'm gonna use this action card with the spider lady to apply more plague. And this deck is pretty devastating if you know how to play your cards, know how each creature's passive work. It might be the strongest out of the 2 featured decks, but like I said, it's a little bit more complex. It doesn't give you a lot of utilities to remove like revive. So as you can see, my opponent has revive. I don't think I have a lot of cards in this deck that can remove buffs like revive. It might have 1 or 2. I haven't really looked at the card list. But again, when it comes to applying plague and poison, so I just got a hero card poison, so I'm gonna apply that. And then I'm gonna do one more drag attack with the spider chick because she does strong crit damage. So she has like a high chance to do crit. So you want to kind of attack with her. And you can see, as you can see, my blue dragon has intelligence spike because I was able to trigger his passive. And that's pretty much the deck. The idea of the deck is for you to use the little purple devil creature to get raging armor on your creatures, so that can apply nullify to your opponent's creatures. Use the spider chick to do attack to apply plague. You have the combo with the foot soldier and the undead to apply plague, and you're trying to apply as much plague as possible whilst building up your hero meter, so you can get these wonderful, amazing hero cards. This hero is probably one of my favorite, and the thief, this hero and the thief, I figure her name, Ava, I think her name is, two of my favorite heroes. But yeah, so that's pretty much the deck, the two decks in action. Okay, so we've come to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful. Hope you guys are gonna get a lot of tips and information from this quick video. Obviously, I can go really in depth in both decks, but it probably take about an hour and a half for me to do that. So I just wanted to give you guys some quick tips, pretty much the core strategy of both decks, and then obviously after that, based on your playstyle, based on how quickly and easy you can pick up the game, you'll be able to learn how each action card works and the right time to play your hero action cards and the other cards. But hopefully this video has been helpful. Thank you guys for watching. If you've come this far to the video and I didn't give you no help, or you didn't learn nothing from this video, obviously you've come all the way to the end, so there must be something that you enjoyed about the video. So if you did, please hit the like button. That's going to help out my channel to grow with the algorithm. Please hit the notification bell so you can stay notified for when I don't have, it's just me by myself, when I upload another video, and hit the subscribe button so you can, help support the channel. So thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more video from your boy Chaos Roam. I gotta go. Peace.